start us off with these?
I didn't really know what to talk about because I've barely played my Switch this week because I've been a little bit busy, but I did manage to finish on Thursday or Friday, I can't remember now. River City Girls. I have unlocked a couple of new characters. I think I've beat the game and I'm like 83% completion, so there is stuff there for me to go back and do. The ending is fantastic. Like there's a really cool twist at the end. I won't spoil it obviously, and expect a review in the coming days. I was going to write a review this weekend, but doubt that's going to happen now. I've been too busy. So hopefully early next week, around the time the podcast goes up, or a couple of days after, there should be a review on the website. Brief update on Ring Fit Adventure. I have been playing it. I've been playing it for about 3 weeks in combination with exercise outside and a better diet, and I've managed to lose almost a stone. So
excellent.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like 9 pounds in just over 3 weeks, or yeah, three and a half weeks. So excellent. I'm feeling good about that. I haven't had a beer for like 3 weeks as well, and it was hard at first, but now I'm getting used to it. But there's a big national holiday coming up soon on the 21st, 22nd of June, and I'm going to go away to the countryside with my friends, and it's going to be beer time then, at least. But for now it's going well. But the game I want to talk about today is a game that I was interested in when I first saw it revealed. I think it was in the Indie Direct, but I could be wrong. Now, my first and only experience with Picross is Twilight Princess Picross, the free one basically that Nintendo released on the 3DS, and I absolutely loved it. I've never played a Picross game before, not on the SNES or on the DS or 3DS, and I picked up Murder by Numbers, which is a Picross game, but it's also a visual novel as well. So there's there's a whole story around it, and it seems to borrow heavily from. I think the closest thing I've played that's similar to it is probably Hotel Dusk. Okay. But I was a little bit skeptical going in because I just wanted a Picross game, basically. And the story is actually quite interesting. A couple of twists. I finished the first chapter out of 4. It took me about 4 or 5 hours to do that. And you do Picross puzzles along the way. Nothing too challenging yet. I haven't had to have any help or anything, but the story, I thought it was going to be a little bit like cheesy, but it's actually grabbed me a little bit, and there's some interesting characters. There's a couple of cliched characters as well, but it's quite interesting, and the plot is developing in a way that is keeping my interest. Again, I thought it would be something a little bit cliched and just like as a side to the Picross, but actually it's pretty cool. And that was on, I think it was 20% off, so I paid about £8 or £9 for it on the eShop. Very happy with the purchase decision so far. It's nice, like, since the Switch launched, I've had the impression that there's not really much by way of handheld games. I remember we've had this discussion before that the 3DS, you would get these smaller games, like Pocket Card Jockey is a perfect example. I don't know if either of you played it on the 3DS. It was like £6 or £7, puzzle game, absolutely ridiculous concept, but it just worked so well as a game. And these sort of smaller, quirky, like push blocks and stuff like that, these quirky, unique games that were on the 3DS in spades, hadn't really come to the Switch. And I feel like this game, Murder by Numbers, really fits that sort of identity, let's say, really well. And this is what I feel the Switch has been missing. Yes, we've had tons and tons of really good indie games, but there was nothing that was sort of handheld in that nature. The only disappointing thing with this is doesn't use a touchscreen.
What is it with Picross games and no touchscreen support?
At least as far as I can tell, it doesn't use the touchscreen. But, you know, the controls it's no problem whatsoever to use the D-pad or the joystick. And I've been having a blast with this. I played it for about 3 hours last night, and I picked it up on Friday evening, played it for a couple of hours, and then again on last night. It was like all evening I was playing it, just while I was doing some other stuff, sticking it on and then switching it off, doing a couple of puzzles at a time. And it's fantastic. Like, I'm having a great time, and I recommend if anyone wants Picross but more, and not just puzzle, like with something else to it. I think this is a really good game to pick up. So definitely, it's dirt cheap on the eShop, well worth it in my opinion.
One of the things that when I heard someone talk about it on another podcast as well, and it has piqued my interest, the story and thing. The thing that put me off in that it was in an indie direct is the side character who looked like Monit from Nintendo Land.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to suspend your disbelief a little bit when you're playing it, but I mean, the characters are interesting. And the story, and like as I said, the story is developing in a way that I didn't expect. I'm getting these weird Tokyo Mirage Session vibes from it. I don't know if it's just the style and the music together that sort of brings back memories, but yeah, it's fun. It is fun.
Very cool. I love my Picross games. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.